Sports 760. It's always our pleasure to have the head coach of the Aztecs, Brian Dutcher, with us, back with us on San Diego Sports 760, and John and Jim. Dutch, I feel like April has changed in the coaching profession over the years. Can you explain what it's like now coming out of a season and that kind of race to get to your next roster with the transfer portal and all that entails? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, my pleasure, John. And like I said, it's just the new nature of the business. Nothing to fear, something to embrace, and let's go at it. Let's get players. Let's help our players that are in the program get better, and let's keep winning.
Dutch, were you surprised by Elijah's decision to enter the transfer portal?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought this was his year coming up, but like I said, guys, it's not all just money why guys stay or leave. There's other factors that go into it, and I think Elijah was probably a little bit of both. And so, I would have liked Elijah to stay. I love Elijah, but wish him well. Thank him for the time he spent on the Mesa, and move on and worry about the Aztecs and wish him well in his next venture, wherever that might be, what school he chooses.
Brian Dutcher with us right now, San Diego Sports 760. Let's talk about some of these additions, and you've really made sizable adds, obviously. We learned about Wayne McKinney III yesterday from USD. You've added Nick Boyd, who you're familiar with from FAU, Jared Coleman-Jones on the interior. What can you just say in general about the players you've brought in via the portal?
They fit our culture. You know, it's not all about just running out and taking the most points or the most rebounds. It's bring them on campus. It's hear what's important to them. And all three said the most important thing is winning, and that fits us. We want guys that are obviously want to get better, but are willing to sacrifice, willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Lamont Butler also entered the transfer portal. He's heading to Kentucky. He spent 4 years here. Just, describe what he meant to this program over the last 4 seasons for you guys in helping you, win a lot of games and going to places that this program's never been before.
Yeah, Lamont is a winner, and he won at San Diego State. He helped us win a lot of games. So proud of what he did for us. And it's this COVID year, these guys get the extra year. And so basically they can be a pro for 1 year. They get their degree. They got a San Diego State degree. And now it's okay, let's go check the marketplace, because in any other year before COVID, I'm on my way to try to make the NBA or Europe. And so a lot of these guys are using that extra year right now to basically be a pro, to find out what's the open market bear and start making money playing basketball.
Dutch, can you take us back in terms of your familiarity specifically with like a Wayne McKinney III, who was out of Coronado at the end of high school, really good player at USD. Can you just kind of take our listeners inside your familiarity with Wayne McKinney III and how this opportunity presented itself?
Yeah, I've always loved Wayne. I remember Jan and I went and watched him play a high school game at Coronado High School and followed him in the summer. He was playing for Keenan Allen's team, and I always loved Wayne, but I told him when he came here to talk with us that timing is everything. And with Lamont and Darion on the roster the last 2 years, it would have been selfish to try to say, Wayne, even if you want to come, let's go, let's do it. Timing has to be there. So same program, but timing is different, and his time to be an Aztec is now.
What pieces are you still looking to add to this team for the upcoming season?
That's the interesting thing. I mean, we have a roster that's ready to go out and play right now. We don't have to add a piece, but we're not going to turn down a piece we think can make a difference. And so maybe shooting, maybe a big wing, that can, we've had big wings in the past, a la Matt Mitchell, Dakari Allen, guys that can guard multiple positions, be dangerous. And so maybe, I feel like we have a lot of 4 and 5 men. Now, we're not going to turn down a really good 4, but maybe a guy that can play both of the 2 hard positions to combine. It's point guard, combo guard, wing, but not many wings that can shift over and guard a 4. So maybe looking for a guy that can fill that role at both ends of the floor.
Brian Dutcher with us right now, San Diego Sports 760, and John and Jim. Dutcher, it feels as if a lot of time you've got multiple really good ball handlers on the floor. Go back to last year, including both Darion Trammell and Lamont Butler. How do you see Nick Boyd and Wayne McKinney III working together?
I mean, we've got dynamic players. I mean, with Bird and Reese Waters coming back, those guys are dynamic, and they can be out there with Wayne or Nick, or there are times like I played Lamont and Darion together, or Malachi and KJ Fagan back in the day with the 30 and 2 team. those guys can be on the floor together. So Aztec basketball has always been about versatility. I think Wayne gives us versatility to be out there with Nick or to be out there with the others. And so we have great versatility, and that's what always makes us dangerous.
Dutch, when do you expect to know more about whether or not you'll be in the NIL tournament this year, or if it'll be even held this year?
It's just mostly formatting because and the whole formula for NILs is going to change. Usually there's only one team allowed per conference in an NIL event. And now that the Power 5 has gone to the Power 4, they're going to change that. They're going to let teams from the same conference play in NIL events. And so or not MTEs,
right?
Whatever you want, whether it's NIL or MTE, that will change. Now, whether it changes this year or not, it has to do with formatting. It's TV rights. If it's just a game in a neutral site where we have Mountain West games, then the Mountain West controls the TV rights. And so for I think the NIL event to work, they have to be able to control their TV rights. And without MTE status, they don't do that. So there's a combination they're looking at to try to find a way to make that happen, I think.
Brian Dutcher with us right now. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. At what point, I'm sure it's already occurring with some members of your staff like Matt Soria, but at what point do you turn your attention to the critical nature of non-conference scheduling? I know it changes this year with more conference games. We're talking about this potential MTE. When do you start approaching, or how do you approach looking at your non-conference schedule?
I mean, we already are. I mean, we want a hard schedule. We've never shied away from a difficult schedule. And sometimes I always laugh where people say, well, they're not playing any. Well, we want to play anybody that'll play us, especially in the West. And so if they don't want to play, then sometimes we don't have the schedule we want. But with the Zags coming back to Viejas this year, with the hopefully NIL event with Power 5 schools, the NIL event will be a Maui field, maybe better than a Maui field. That's how good the competition will be. And then we're trying to get another good home and home with a Power 5 school that will raise the bar for our program. And so we're out there hunting games, but we have to find people that want to play us. And as good as we've been, it's harder than you think.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It does. Going back to just the transfer portal real quick, Dutch, I know you said you were caught off a little guard by the Elijah news. Was the leading up to when the transfer portal closed on Wednesday night, was there sitting there like, man, please don't have any more phone calls coming? Like, is that a nervous period for you now in the climate of college basketball?
I don't try to get nervous. It's the new normal. When a program like Duke loses 7 players that could have come back, then you know what the nature of the game is. And then when programs like Kentucky, Calipari leaves, Arkansas, Musselman leaves, Louisville, Kenny Payne's no longer there. So now you've got 3 programs probably with as much NIL money as anyone in the country losing their entire roster. And so the price of going business goes up because they have to fill a roster and they have the money to do it. So it's like free agency. Once the first one falls, then the market is set. And so it's NIL. A lot of NIL money's out there. The Mesa Foundation has done a fantastic job of helping us along. We're growing it. I want to tell everybody that they're going to extend the matching gift period to the end of the month till May 31st. And so Mesa Foundation, .sd.org, if you want to help the Aztecs continue to grow our NIL and our footprint as a program in this country.
Dutch, I'm glad you touched on it. It looks from the outside like the support has been unbelievable. I mean, there's been over $100,000 of donations. You mentioned the fact that at Mesa Foundation, SD.org, that matching campaign is now extended through the end of the month. For Aztec fans out there, and obviously, there's so many programs around the country, and might be one collective at Kentucky that's going to be larger maybe than the collective at San Diego State. But can you speak to the success the Mesa Foundation is having for your program and what it means for listeners and supporters to be supporting that collective, what it means for your program?
It means everything, John. And obviously, we're not the New York Yankees of baseball where we have an unbelievable payroll. We pay more than anybody. But guess what? The Yankees don't win the title every year. Teams that have good young players, that have good culture players, win titles. And so we don't have to have as much money as everyone else, but we have to have enough money to stay relevant. So anything we can gain to keep us getting the kind of kids that we want to get, they're not going to come for free, obviously, but we have to stay in the game, and we're never going to be what some of these programs are, and we don't care to be. We weren't them before, but we find a way to win. We find kids that fit our culture, and every little bit of support from the community helps us.
Before the show, Dutch, this is completely off topic here, but before the show, me and John saw a list of 78 players that were invited to the NBA Combine this year, and there was a name that was not on that list. It's kind of surprising to us. I don't know if you knew about it or if you know maybe there's reasons behind it, but Jaden Ledee was not on that list to go to the NBA Combine. If you didn't know about that, are you surprised by it?
Yeah, I would thought Jaden would have been invited. He's clearly one of the best players in the country, but maybe they feel that he's played enough college, he's been in college long enough where they know his game. And trust me, Nate Mensah wasn't in the Combine last year, and he played 36 games in the NBA this year. So the path is still there. I believe in my heart that Jaden Ledee will be on an NBA roster next year when the season starts.
It's just an unbelievable career, obviously, certainly on the Mesa. Dutch, before you go, Chris Acker, as you've talked about with that great opportunity, obviously, to become a head coach. We've talked about it with you. You had talked about the priority, obviously, of the portal. What's your timeline related to finding an additional assistant coach to replace Chris Acker?
Well, we have no shortage of candidates. I've got a short list. I kind of have some in mind, and now we're just jumping through the HR hurdles to try to get something done.
Dutch, never dull. Is there a period of time where you will take time off? Are you still waiting to potentially complete this roster, or you feel good about the state of the roster where you can kind of, maybe take a few days to yourself, or is that not possible yet?
A few days.
Is that possible?
Listen, I'm still working. I'm in every day. We're watching tape on all these kids in the portal, trying to find the guy that fits our program. And so we're still working, but I believe this in my heart. If we didn't add another piece, we are going to be good next year. I believe that in my heart. And it's going to be fun. This is the nature of college basketball. This is the exciting part. The COVID year runs off. The fifth-year guys are going to be done. And then it's going to be four-year guys, and the rosters are going to flip quicker like they used to. And that's part of the excitement. Who are the new guys? Who are the new faces? And people might find it hard to believe, but we've started freshmen in the past, a la Matt Mitchell or Nathan Mensah. And so we have freshmen coming in that are going to be good enough to start for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrific roster that we look at right now, and Aztec fans are excited to once again do it again. 24-25. Again, that matching campaign has been extended through the end of the month to support San Diego State men's and women's basketball. Mesa Foundation SD.org. Dutch, we always appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to doing it again soon.
Thanks for having me. Hey, as long as the portal is open, I'm going to keep coming on the radio.
Well, okay,
there we go.
That sounds good.
We love that.
We'll talk to you Monday.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, Dutch. All right, Brian Dutcher, head coach of the Aztecs. Let's react to that.
Let me translate that for you real quick. Farrell Compton. Magoon-Guath.
Yeah, Farrell Compton. They also, Taj DeGorville is out of Las Vegas, a guard. I mean, they have serious talent coming in. Mark Ziegler told us yesterday he's more intrigued about the roster coming up in 24-25 than any roster he's covered.
This is what we've been preaching. Yeah. It's how college basketball works.
Right.
There's new rosters all the time.
Exactly.
And you should be excited about it. Not wanting, you want these guys to stay for a long time, but that's just not college basketball, and it never was.